Welcome to Colney Talk Podcast.
Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. Welcome to another exciting episode of Colney Talk Podcast, your bite-sized breakdown show. I'm your host Alex. First-time listeners, glad to have you here. And to my returning guests, thank you for sticking with me. As always, I talk a bit about the Arsenal match and pick out my top 3 Arsenal players who shined and one odd player not good enough I get to call out. What a day. What a performance. What kind of statement is this? I mean, Arsenal's 5-1 evisceration of Manchester City was not just a victory. It was a coronation of belief, a mashup of chaos by these Arsenal men, and a night where the Emirates became a confirmed fortress of pure, unadulterated noise. So if you don't mind, let me unpack this seismic result layer by layer, because I can't contain myself. I don't think I have enough words to express the way I feel watching this game afterwards. I mean, I got to say, the Emirates erupted like a power keg from the first whistle. I mean, the crowd's energy coursing through the players as the song started, Arsenal launching into City with a ferocity that set the tone. It seemed like the regular scheduled program, how we press, but this was the game changer type of press for this team. What struck me immediately was how Arsenal refused to let City settle into their usual metronomic rhythm of living and playing with the ball and suppressing the opponents and, giving us fit. Instead of Arsenal sitting deep, they pressed high and hard. I mean, suffocating Stones and Akanji passing lanes and forcing Ortega into the mess up department. He didn't know what to expect. He didn't see this coming. I mean, could you blame him? He hasn't felt this kind of pressure in this ground for, I don't think he has done that before. So, tough learning for him. The opening exchanges for this game was a blur of red and white. Arsenal's pressing, as I said, structure resembled the coordination of how we press and how we stay tight. We knew the assignment. This was like a swarm coordination. Odegaard pounced on a loose touch from Akanji inside 2 minutes. I think this was, as recorded, 105 seconds, sliding home the cold precision of a goal, and that quickly turned the whole game up. I mean, and this quick turn of events and that quick shot is what is demanded from this team. You get in, you execute, that's it. That's the resemblance of what quality this team exudes. Then the madness from the crowd erupted. But the real story from that was the tactical discipline. Havertz and Nwaneri pinning City's center backs, while Rice and Partey suffocated Kovacic and Silva's passing lanes, if they had any. There was just enough that this City team could not handle. The assignments that the wingers had was just more than pressing. It was defending in different levels that City just weren't prepared for, in the ways that we overpowered them tactically with players that they didn't think they were equipped to play and defend in the right situations, and how we switched up, giving them fits and guesses all through. I mean, kudos to the tactical game plan. There were so many good parts of this first half, but you got to start with the defensive cohesion. Saliba and Big Gabby were imperious. I mean, cutting off Haaland's oxygen supply. They were revving for this matchup. I can tell. You could see how much they were going up for this game. Then you talk about MLS. Myles Lewis-Skelly looking like Myles Lewis-Skelly. Sorry, I did not know about this of a game that he has. And now he has shown it to the world. My goodness. We defended in the pack and recovered any open position except if it was intended to be that way. There was so much defensive structure that you could just look and applaud. And it feels like City just brings the best out of us. So thanks for that. One of the good moments that sticks out was Raya. Raya's quick instincts from a corner that saw him hit the ball, which hit the top bar. That allowed him split seconds of recovery, as well as Saliba shielding away any tapping goals from Haaland. And that was pivotal in my opinion because it could have been a quick strike 1-1 and then there's some kind of fear like, oh, what are we doing now? Could we not just hold this lead? Yes, it was 1-0 and kind of like build on from there. And then another was Arsenal's ability to flip from defense to attack. Martinelli's run for disallowed goal showcased our razor sharp movements in this game and the passing that we needed to strike hard and give City that discomfort that they needed to sit on for a long time. I mean, that was it. And we continue from there. And I know following that, Havertz would have given us something perfect with that second goal, which he clearly missed. I mean, you know, it happens. I'm glad it happened in this game because you can see where it's not about perfection. It's the entirety of this moment that he missed. How was he going to respond? Was it going to be a dip in confidence? Was it going to be some sort of second guessing to touch the ball one too many times? So I think if you look back, it had its own perfection in the way it all really came together. I was thoroughly impressed with the fire these boys had, dribbling in the face of double team, especially Trossard, operating without the ball in an excellent fashion and covering for each other when our play was broken up. I mean, when you talk about how this team was going to play, this was not the usual Arsenal play. But I think for this game, for this team, the way they have prepared for it, you couldn't have scripted it any better. Now, the not so good parts, or should I say the parts where we had to wrestle against City, was how they exploited the right side where Timber's advanced position early with Savinho finding space behind him. Kind of felt like that was the opening. Raya bailed us out as well with some stunning save from Guardiola's curler. And, you know, again, you can only contain City so much with how they want to stretch you and, you know, come on from different angles. So that was one of the tougher areas that we struggled with, which was fine. We were able to manage and deal with that as well as we could. And then that wastefulness, again, as I said, from Havertz skewing a golden chance wide after Rice split City's midfield with a diagonal pass. I mean, what a beauty of a pass. And moments like this could have haunted Havertz. But as I said, this was a way to turn that inwards and make the best out of it. At halftime, the 1-0 lead felt fragile. Questions, things to think about, how they would adjust. City had flickered, but Arsenal's control was undeniable, and you got to start from the defense. They had that on lockdown. Now, the question lingered, could we sustain this intensity? How long could we hold on with this 1-0 and push, or were we going to change game plan coming into the second half? And boy, second half, chaos, carnage, a crowd in ecstasy. I mean, what followed was a 45-minute masterclass in ruthlessness. I mean, I'll say it again. We just came in with that carnage to finish them off. City equalized through Haaland's header, but their joy lasted mere seconds. And I just was so happy about that because Thomas Partey's intercepted pass, which had him surge forward and struck thunderous shot into the net. He had the Emirates shake that ground, and he gave that impact recovery to any kind of doubt when they had equalized to a 1-1, and that was needed. I mean, yep, there was a lot more from it, but that particular moment was one of the pivotal shifts in the game. And as I said, there was more. Lewis-Skelly coming of age. The boy didn't just score. He announced himself against this team in front of the world. Receiving the ball from Rice, he drove past Kovacic, shifted onto his right, and buried a finish in the top corner. I mean, wow. Like, speechless here. I mean, this boy is amazing. The celebration as well, simply cold. So cold. I can't wait for the bench cam to come out because this was an amazing moment from him. And I'm so overjoyed as to how this young player with this team displayed such a fearless fashion of a shot, a goal, a move that everyone is going to change the way they see this City team, the way this team is going to play going forward, and the confidence that we needed at the right moment. And there's just a lot to applaud from that. And in the perfect situation, Havertz's redemption came from timing his run to meet Martinelli's cutback, which had him hammering that fourth goal. A striker's finish full of conviction. And I'm sure in his mind, he took a deep breath of relief from that first missed chance. And then Nwaneri's exclamation point. That curler was audacious. I mean, cutting from the right, he bent it from outside the box. I had to make sure I saw it well again. And shout out to Rice pinging the ball in time when he was calling for it a few minutes earlier, waiting for that ball to get to him. And my word, that ball and that shot was a thing of beauty. I mean, definitely some serious highlights. And there's a lot of competition of highlights of this season. This one is up there. And the whole combination of how everything connected, that was picture perfect. Defensively, we had to be disciplined. Yes, we had these goals in there, but we had to do more. We didn't play with the ball as much, so that discipline didn't lose our sight, but we had to stay on top. And as much as we had those 3 goals and they pretty much threw in the towel, we had to make sure we spanked them pretty well. And our guys were tip-top in defending, and we knew that that was the way we would quickly turn the defensive plays to offensive flashes in an instant. And again, Myles Lewis-Skelly's dynamism allowed Rice to pivot deeper, while Partey's interception destabilized City's rhythm. Meanwhile, Havertz's hybrid role in this game was something that I could not overlook. I mean, dropping deep to link play, switching to the right, swapping with Martinelli, that was amazing. And he was doing it in such an effortless style that could not imagine any other player, maybe Trossard, kind of doing it, but not to this level. That was a lot. Sure, that had City's backline guessing. It was done to almost perfection to win the match. That was amazing. Now, this wasn't just a win, it was a demolition. Arsenal's 5-1 dismantling of City would send shockwaves to the world as everyone had their eye on this rematch. The Emirates crowd, raucous and relentless, became the 12th man, and that sing-along of "Be humble, sit down." I mean, it echoed long after the full time and was so befitting. I couldn't stop grinning. What a match for real. There was every element of this game that could not be scripted any better, and I think we served this on the perfect pie for them. Now they can take that pie home. Now let me quickly just touch on my top 3 players who really stood out in this match. First player, Declan Rice. He managed to dictate tempo with 94% pass accuracy, including the instant pass to Havertz, who squared the ball for Odegaard's goal. At every turn, you could see him track back to dispossess City when driving forward, turning defense into attack in seconds. And then also his inch-perfect ball for Lewis-Skelly's goal. That was something. And finally, launching that ball to Nwaneri to disrespect City defenders. He was the man of the match for me, no doubt. But there's something, that aura that he was carrying around him in this game, that he was itching to get the ball, drive forward, dispossess City, and just do something. There was, City. Rice was on it today. He was at another level. Second player, Kai Havertz. Excellent hold-up play under pressure, connecting with Trossard, which was outstanding. As I said, playing this hybrid role to perfection, linking up deep and swapping roles with Martinelli. That is not typical for a top man. And there's something special about Kai, and he needs his flowers every time he plays, because there is something that he does that no one else can do. I mean, yes, Odegaard is special in his own way, but Kai just is that other engine that we don't see, but it just keeps running and keeping everything smooth. He's clever, dummy run that dragged Stones out of position, creating space for Odegaard's opener. I think he did that even for his own goal as well. The way he splits defenses is so second nature to him. There's nothing more to applaud the way he thinks about games. And then his defensive contribution. 3 tackles in City's half, and what a testament to his work rate. And then, as I said, the way he managed to redeem himself for a clinical finish, silencing further doubts. I'm sure he was hard on himself, but I'm glad he was able to score because there was a lot for him to work at, which he was rewarded for. But even with this, he's definitely going to keep working on his finishes. But for now, it's time to applaud and keep, staying on his back on the good things that he's always doing. Third and final player, Thomas Partey. He was on steroids in this match. Excellent in breaking up play, 5 interceptions by my count, including a crunching tackle by Kovacic. His intercept of Foden's pass to drive forward and score the second goal was that injection we needed. Scoring another goal was that counterpunch for this game to put fear back into City's player, because it could have given them more chance and time to creep back into this game, gain momentum with their possession that they had, and oppress us in a way that we would have to struggle and defend harder. But thankfully, that's not what we did. We defended in a different way. Another moment from him was his diagonal switch of a pass to Trossard in the 18th minute, bypassing City's entire midfield. This was ball spraying Partey that we know, and long-footed shots that he's always good at. Now, his composure under pressure in this game, recycling possession to sustain attacks, that was amazing. He had that sixth sense to evade any duels while inviting pressure. That was a game for him to manage, and he did it really well, because when he would drop deep to pick the ball from Raya or connect with Saliba or Timber, there were moments that would seem worrisome, but thankfully this was a better part of his game that looked sharp, and it was a sharp one for him. So that was great. No odd man to call out. A complete team win and performance we all have been waiting for, and about damn time we smacked down City as we should have done. This wasn't just a match. It was a manifesto. Arsenal's blend of youth in terms of Lewis-Skelly and Nwaneri, and experience from Partey, Odegaard, and Rice overwhelmed the City in disarray in what they could not imagine how we would play and what the game plan might be. While we have other tough matches coming up, this should realign the belief and fear factor that hasn't been shown in a while. But first, we need to take care of business. Fingers crossed, the recruiting, the whole business in trying to get more reinforcements comes through and we do a good job. There's a lot of finger crossing and hoping, which we'll see. But, here's hoping for something good. And there was no perfect way to match it with what we just seen from the Emirates. It was just simply amazing. And we are coming. We're coming, and we're doing so much craziness. All right, that'll do it for this episode. Thank you all for tuning in. Remember, if you enjoyed this, like, subscribe, and share it with your fellow Gunners. Until next time, take care.